Yes, sir, baby. On the radar. Yo, joining me today, special guest in the building, YSL in the building, Strick is in the building.
Yeah, what's going on?
Welcome to the show, bro.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How long you been in New York for already?
Today?
Just today?
I've been in New York a bunch of times, but today I caught a red eye, so I've been here since this morning.
Oh, man.
Nonstop.
Oh, so you've been running around everything.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I know those red eyes are tough.
Yeah, it was, man. Coming from LA too, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you came from LA here?
LA.
Damn, damn, they really got you working.
Really
That's crazy.
Right?
Well, I'm excited to have you, man. You know, I've been reading up on like your story for like since our guy connected us over here.
Yeah.
And
shout out my publicist Ryan, man. He killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it. And like when he sent me like some of the press release stuff, and then I did my own digging into like your background. Your story is so interesting.
Yo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try to live an interesting life.
I know, like, okay, so I wanna get like the whole gist of it. So you lived in Germany for a while, correct?
Yeah, early years, like from ages like 9 to 12.
So you were born in North Carolina.
Born in North Carolina.
Then you moved to Germany.
Yeah.
How did that happen? That's such a crazy ass move.
My mom made a career move,
okay.
And it was a military career move during personnel, and I got stationed in Germany. I was in Mannheim, Germany, actually. So shout out to Benjamin Franklin Village. That's where the base we were stationed on. But yeah, I was there for like 3 years. Originally from Lumberton, North Carolina,
right? Which
is obviously a really big contrast from Mannheim, Germany. But it was really cool. Yeah.
Was it like a crazy culture shock for you as a kid? Because that's like I feel like those are like your developmental years, right?
I think it kind of like it maybe like was a shock, but like also too like I was the only child. I've always been. I don't have any brothers and sisters to this point, right. And so I was always really outgoing. So like right around that time, 9 to 12, you're like really inquisitive. You're like trying to meet people, make friends. You got your own personality. So the biggest transition to me was when we landed in Germany. It was the first time I had ever seen snow. What? So I'm coming from North Carolina. Right. We like never see snow. So as soon as we land, like I'm like the snow's like up to my waist. I'm like, yo, I want to go home. Like
you like this? Yeah. You're like his first time. You're like, this is nice.
Yeah, this is.
But
nice.
I'm done.
But I'm done.
I want back on the plane. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, but that was like literally the only shock. Other than that, because like even during school, like we would always have like pen pals that were like Germans, like with natives and things like that. So the exchange that we used to do like with the students there would always kind of help me like get immersed into the culture. So it was never really like too big of a shock. It's kind of just like, oh, I got some new friends that speak a different language. Like it's really neat.
So you had to like learn a whole new language too while you was out there?
I didn't technically get to learn it as much, but like that was the attempt, right? I was from North Carolina, so I have a really bad accent, and it was kind of hard for me to figure a lot of stuff out. But the bad words, I learned a ton of those. I learned a ton of bad words.
Like if you went back to Germany today, you could probably like hold your own with like getting around, doing things, buying shit.
Yeah, for sure. And I got Google Translator, so I'm lit.
And you got Google Translator.
So I can just do that for sure.
So you were only there for 3 years?
Only there for 3 years, yeah.
Oh, so then you came back, you were able to do high school?
Yeah, I did high school and middle school in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
That's crazy. I can't imagine moving around that much.
Shout out to the Tar Heels, by the way.
Shout out to the Tar Heels.
A couple people in here I know probably Duke fans, but you know what I'm saying? Big thumbs down.
So when did you first start getting into the music? Like when did that kind of begin for you? Like
probably like around like high school.
Okay.
Like
once you were back here.
Yeah, once I was back in the States. Yeah. I had always been into music. I remember like when I was like 9 or 10, I think the first album I ever asked my mom to buy me was Bone Thugs and Harmony. East 1999. I just loved like the cadences, how they were and everything like that. And I was like, Mom, I have to have this CD. And she probably was like, you're not old enough to listen to it, but you begging for it, so I'm gonna get it for you. So yeah.
It was like one of those things where she was like, all right, just shut up here.
Yeah, just shut up. Here you go. Yeah.
I think I realized because when we were like, we both like to hear ourselves talk. I think it's because we're both only children.
Oh, well, now we're brothers, so now we're good.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
We're good.
You ever be with people and they be like, yo, you have the like only child syndrome? I'll be like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I really don't know what y'all be talking about.
I don't see it. That's
like,
what I say. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I really don't understand. And then they try to like read, like they try to read you like a book and you like, that's not me.
Yeah, that's not me at all.
That's not me.
It's just like horoscopes. It's like, bro, that's not me.
As you continue, whatever the long ass thought or story you had before, as you continue, and they're just like, look, this is the shit I'm talking about. You love fucking hearing yourself talk.
We can't help it.
No, at all.
At least we say meaningful things.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And at least we can have full conversations with people too. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people who can't have conversations out here. So if anything, they should be thanking us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Only child syndrome.
Only child syndrome.
It is what it is.
Become more personable.
Exactly. So you started getting into the music. First album was Bone Thugs and Harmony. When did you first start recording yourself? Or writing? Which came first?
Well, see, like I wrote my first rap that like obviously like isn't even notable, but it's memorable because I started playing like alto sax in like 6th grade. and we had to do like a Christmas like kind of like performance or something like that. And I had a alto sax solo because I was kind of popular, but I was really horrible at playing the sax. So I actually came home and I had like asked my step pops like, yo, I was like, man, I gotta do this alto sax thing, but I really don't want to do it. And he's like, why don't you just write a rap? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So like around like, so I'll say probably like, 6th grade was the first time I actually kind of wrote a rap and thought it was cool. But it wasn't until high school when I started actually really recording myself and found like a really big passion for it and like kind of made it like more than a hobby.
Can you give me a bar from your first rap?
No, I can't. I wish I could. I wish I could. They made it legal in LA, so it's kind of.
Oh, okay. Do you keep like those old songs? Like, do you have them somewhere on a hard drive? I never got to ask any artist that, but do you have any of those?
No,
like anywhere?
I don't. But a bunch of like my CDs from high school, like a couple of my friends actually still have them. They've been like messaging me pictures of them lately, and like some of my friends from college have actually been showing me like pictures lately of like my first CDs that I put out. So I guess they're holding on to them. They don't want to send them to me or make any copies for me. So I guess they're holding on to them.
Kind of sus.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what I was like, if I see this on eBay in a couple of years, I'm gonna be pretty.
You're like, yo, when I get my #1, if y'all putting this shit out on the internet, right? I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, don't do that. I hope not. I was really bad.
Why would they? I don't understand why they can't just. You can't really, not like any of these laptops. You can't burn a CD like that anymore. But I'm sure you can take it somewhere and you can convert it to an MP3 or something. Somebody can go out there and do it for you.
Yeah,
so I don't understand why they won't.
I'll put my manager on it. PJ, we got to get all my old music burnt off the CD. We'll get it done. Yeah, and out of the hands of people that might be able to do something with it later on. Exactly. No, please don't blackmail me with the old CDs, y'all.
So when you were doing so what was your major in college? I guess
English literature.
Okay.
So I was a lit major. Originally, I wanted to be like a professor. I always like thought it was really cool. So I wanted to be like
very cool, yeah,
an English professor. But then when I got to college, I realized like I still would have way more college after that. So I was like, maybe I don't really want to be a professor anymore. I kind of just want to be done with school. So I ended up changing my minor to like marketing and business.
Okay, and then you said Bow Air Force.
Yeah, then I said Bow Air Force because when I was graduating, like my mom was moving to Atlanta, and I didn't really want to relocate with her to Atlanta. Like, I was 22. I didn't want to just be like the college graduate that's like sitting on my mom's couch, like just trying to figure out my life. So I came from a military family, of course, North Carolina. So I just literally like the week that I finished my finals, I went and took the ASVAB and scored fairly well on it and got into the Air Force. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to go.
I feel like it's like an only child thing for us to change our majors too now. I did the same shit. I didn't think I was gonna be in radio. I was a fucking business major when I went into college. I was a business major, and I think I sat in my first class that I ever sat in. I thought I was gonna be like do marketing because I was good at talking. I was good at shit like that, and like kind of just being able to come up with like plans. I mean, it's worked so far.
Yeah,
it's worked so far.
You got me here.
Exactly. There you go. But when I sat in my first class, I think it was a calculus class, and I sat in the class, and I remember the lady, she started doing whatever. I sat there for 2 days out of the week. And I remember by the 3rd day, she's like, all right, here's a quiz. And she like handed out the quiz out, I guess from the first 2, based off whatever she told us from the first 2 days. I remember I looked at the quiz and I just like, I handed it to her. I'm like, nah. I got up and I went to the office. I'm like, yo, I think I need to change my major. Next thing I know, I'm a communications major. Same week, I joined the radio station just because I was like, "Oh, this is fire." You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the rest was history. Now we're here.
That's dope. Nah, for sure.
I think it's like taking those risks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Risk equal reward, man. That's one of the biggest monikers I live by too, man. It's risk equal reward. So.
Even jumping from the Air Force to doing like the music and whatnot, or was that kind of like your time was done in doing the Air Force?
See, I was still making music while I was in the Air Force, but I had got stationed in Las Vegas. I was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. So it was like, I just graduated college from North Carolina. I live in Vegas, and this was like my first time actually being able to like purchase studio time and kind of like be able to like go to like a major studio. And so I kind of like got carried away with that, you know what I mean? So I kind of loved that. And then also in Vegas, like I was able to network a lot more, meet people like Molly Ma, go out there, In Vegas, you get the bottle service. It's like you realize that it's not just to be partying for the bottles. It's because now you're sitting at a table beside someone else that might be able to give you an opportunity. And so that's kind of like a lot of what we were doing. We were going out and having like a lot of fun, always getting bottle service, was it because we wanted to make those connections.
So Vegas. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just meet like whoever it was that was next to us.
I was gonna say, so Vegas is one of the places where buying the bottle actually might be worth it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Buying the bottle.
Not so much in New York.
Yeah, not so much. I don't know. I would in Vegas for sure. Like,
I never even thought about some shit like that because whenever you see like the bottle service thing and like even like clubs I go to or spots that I go to, I'd be like, nah, they wildin'. But like now that you bring it up like that,
right?
It's not actually, I guess in the right situation, the right moment, the right place, it's worth it.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
It's worked out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, for sure. So that's kind of how it was. So I was just in the military in Vegas, making music, networking, meeting a lot of people, and that's when I realized, like, man, this could probably actually come to fruition, because I had already got like so deep into like the scene out there in Vegas, to where like when everyone was coming into town, I was already meeting them and hanging out with them and stuff like that too. So after I finished the Air Force, I moved to Atlanta. And that's when things like really started to take off.
And YSL, all that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What is the music scene in Vegas like? I mean, like aside from like the clubs and whatnot, like are there like a lot of artists out there? Like,
yeah, see,
I've always wondered
Vegas
about
has
that.
a lot of dope artists, a lot of really cool producers. It's just that, like, again, the scene is more of a transient city. So a lot of people come there to have fun. Even people from LA, you know, the stars in LA come to Vegas just to party for the weekend, and they're out of there. So it's like you can meet someone, but you won't be able to get that continued relationship. And then no one's really looking to Vegas as a hub for music, you know? So it's like, yeah, people there are really talented, and shout out to Vegas. But at the same time, it's like you got to kind of get outside your city. Even when you're in Atlanta, Atlanta's a great hub for music, but you still got to leave Atlanta and go to LA and go to New York and like kind of spread your wings a little. So I think that's what Vegas kind of like helped me get used to the big city.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Atlanta, I got more immersed in like the actual the heartbeat of the hip hop culture.
That's interesting. That's why I be telling all these kids in New York to do. I'd be like, yo, y'all gotta leave New York, go to Atlanta, go literally anywhere, go to LA, go fuck with some other people from other places, and then come back, and your music is probably gonna sound completely, probably like, well, not completely different, but like you're gonna have a completely different outlook on like different sounds and different things you want to try out, because you know obviously the sound that's popular out here now is the drill sound, which is great, but imagine where you could take that if you kind of like, you know, just go out of your bubble and kind of experience things and live a little, you know what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah.
I bring up the J. Cole lyric a lot on his new album, where he like talked about the, I forgot which beat it was, but there was one record on it where he's like, oh, I had this beat a year ago, went out, did some living, now this beat resonates with me, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Same thing applies for life and music and other shit too.
No, totally. I definitely agree. I love traveling. We just got back from London, obviously.
Yep.
Wireless and stuff like that. So.
And you're used to traveling.
I'm used to traveling, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would hope by this point it's just like, it's nothing for you.
Yeah, traveling's one of those things where I love it. Like, but like you said, it helps with the music. You know, you travel, you live more, you see different things. Like,
right. I personally never been to Atlanta, right? But I love every time, like whenever I hear about the music culture down there and kind of how everything works, like I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because people tell me like they'll go, you know, I don't remember the exact story, but I know there have been times that people have told me that they'll go to a studio and you kind of like see like the intermingling of different like artists and different teams, and kind of how it's like a very creative unison like environment down there. Granted, like not everybody has to be best friends with each other, but you know what I mean? Like for the most part, like a lot of people fuck with each other down there, support, things like that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Atlanta, I think, you know, it for years, you know, since Jermaine Dupri and even kind of like before that, you know, but it's one of those places where everyone has the same common goal, you know? Right. It's kind of like everyone's like, just like in Hollywood, you know, everyone like wants to be an actress or wants to be a model, wants to do certain things. So they network on that level and they kind of like help each other out. In Atlanta, it's like everybody's got the same common goal, and it's also to keep Atlanta on top, you know? So I think everyone works together in that fashion, and it's like everyone's went to high school together or like grew up around the corner from each other and stuff like that. So it's like, that's why in Atlanta you always see like these tier stacks of people like blowing up, but they all have known each other for years before it even happens. Word.
So with you, obviously you have been making music for a while, but you also have like found so much success in the writing side of things. So when did you first kind of get introduced into like, oh, I can make a bag by co-writing and, you know, doing things for other people as well? Like when did that kind of first
I think that kind of just turned into like just, I guess, kind of preparation, like meeting like opportunity. You know, I had left my career doing healthcare administration and moved out to LA. And it was basically like, okay, I don't want to make any money unless it comes from music. Like, I don't want to come out here and transfer and go start working at UCLA or like do anything like that. I only want to make money off music. And so when opportunities arise for me to be able to do anything or help out in any kind of way or like show what kind of talent I had, that's kind of where the writing kind of came in. Like I would just be in situations where people were working on songs and I could pitch them ideas or show them like what I had. And a lot of those instances ended up working out and people ended up using what I threw their way. And so I kind of, at that point, once I started getting placements, I made myself kind of a songwriter. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of a songwriter now. I guess I'm doing this now. Yeah, I guess I'm doing this now. Yeah, I got these placements, and I'm fine with doing it. Like you said, the bag's there. So for a while, I definitely was in the songwriter bag, and I still write for a lot of people, too.
Right. I think it's so interesting because, like, you know, when I meet someone like you, obviously, you know, I know a lot of people bring up like the Travis song, but like it's cool meeting people like you because that song and that album was so important to me in college that it's cool meeting someone else who worked behind the scenes on it.
That's fine.
Which I think is like dope because, you know, more people I would like more people to kind of meet people who have worked on those type of songs too, besides the main artists, like yourself.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? Because
sure.
you get to like see like the different like the behind the scenes of it and whatnot. And even kind of when I was talking to Capella Gray has really blown up this past year with Gallus and whatnot. And he was talking to me about songwriting early on, and he doesn't really talk about the people that he's worked with, and that makes me wonder. So like, are there certain people that you can talk about that you worked with, and certain people you can? Like, how does that kind of work out? You know?
I mean, like again, like there's like the stigma about like ghostwriting for people, right? And then there's like a collaborative effort that comes about like writing the song, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
for instance, if me and you were in the studio right now and I was recording and you like said something kind of cool and I was like, oh damn, that's cool, and then I said it and then it sounded cool. Like if you actually were like, hey, I want 2% for what I said, I would be like, yeah, sure, here's your 2% for what you said because I actually used it and it's lit.
Yeah.
And I think that is like more of like the environments that I'm in. I'm in an environment where like me and the artist, we have these relationships and we kind of co-write together. We toss around ideas, and it's not like me just sitting there giving them a whole skeleton idea. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the misconceptions come from. And in certain situations, though, that's probably why some people don't mention who they're working with or who they're writing for, because it is that situation. With me, it's always a collaborative effort. So, and I don't really mention everyone that I work with anyways in that capacity, but my credits are all there anyways. So it's like you can just go check the credit, and if you see me in person, be like, hey, what'd you do on that song?
Yeah, like I saw your name on that song.
Your name on there. What'd you do? You know, and that's just kind of how I play it. But yeah, it's never like, oh, I wrote someone's whole song or I've changed someone's life because of my lyrics. It's just like, I usually just love collaborating with artists and making sure that we can just get the best product in the room.
That's a great answer, because when I ask artists about, I think that might have been my favorite. I didn't even ask you about like misconceptions of songwriting,
Right.
which I like to ask artists who do write for other people, just because I feel like everybody has like a different thing to bring to the table. But I think that might have been my favorite answer.
Oh, thank you.
I think that might, because I don't feel like, not that I push people to talk about ghostwriting, because what I'm saying, like if you want to talk about it, you could talk about it.
Right.
But the fact that you brought up and you explained kind of how that works in that sense, you know what I'm saying? I feel like people don't always get that. You know what I'm saying? I guess when people see that, oh, he's a songwriter, they just assume that, oh, you wrote the whole song for them, which obviously isn't the case, because me being friends with a lot of artists, I understand like the collaborative effort that it takes to like put the song together. Like I guess even in the sense of like, oh, I connected 2 artists on this show, and then if they make a song, and then like their manager was like, oh, if they make the song, get a point or 2 on the record.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? Which
exactly.
So like that part of it I understand, and I feel like people don't always get to understand that part of it, which is why I'm glad you said it.
That's dope. Thank you. Yeah, and that's great that you got examples of situations like that too, because that happens a lot as well. Like someone links a producer up with the artist, they do the song, now you got a credit, now you got a publishing check, now you got get a you know what I mean? It's lots of ways for it to trickle down. So that's super cool.
I think my favorite stories is when I get to talk to people who've done like Christmas records. Because when I talk to people who've done like Christmas records, they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, Christmas is great." You know what I'm saying? like, oh yeah, that Christmas paycheck, when it come in, it hit.
Right. Yeah, I haven't done any Christmas.
We gotta get you to do some Christmas records.
Get me into some of those.
Do some
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Oh, okay.
Okay, never mind. But like, also, what's cool about that is like when you get to be in these songwriting environments, obviously people also know your music too.
Yeah.
So like, it also it's I see how it's cool because it's like a double thing for you. It's like, okay, yeah, like I get to work on this with this artist on this incredible song, but then also down the line, like you and that artist might also do something together.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like obviously you're not forcing it. It's like a very, if we link it, it makes sense and it happens. But that's also kind of cool that you're also in that position where you can do both sides of it and kind of have the best of both worlds out of those situations too.
Wow, thank you. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely a blessing, and it's something that again, like I said, like right now I'm focused a lot on my artist career, but I'm definitely open to collaborative effort with artists, from a songwriting standpoint and just from, doing collabs and features. So
how long were you in Atlanta for before you linked up with like YSL? How long was that?
Well, I've been staying in Atlanta for maybe about 8-9 years.
Okay.
But I had linked up with everybody like kind of fairly quickly, like right after I moved there.
Okay.
Just because like from being in Vegas, like I said, moving around and like just knowing like to go to the clubs, going to the cities, going and asking about people. When I got to Atlanta, that's one of the first things I did too. I was like literally like, who are the 2 hottest rappers in Atlanta right now? And someone was like Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, and Future. I was like, okay, cool, I'm about to go hang out with them. I'm literally telling my barber that. He's like, no way, you can't even get around those dudes, like blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, bet.
I love that.
You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, cool. But just because, like, again, I just knew like my approach wasn't going to be the same approach that everybody uses to get around these type of people. So again, God willing, like it all worked out. And so, so Atlanta was definitely a great move for me.
That's awesome. And then eventually you linked up, and obviously now you're on the intro track.
Yeah, thank you, God. Thank you, King Slime. Like, yeah, it's a blessing. Second #1 album in 1 year.
Word, yeah,
like, it's amazing.
I gotta give it up to him because he beat Drake, and everybody's been struggling to beat Drake week over week. So
shout out to Drake though. That's fam.
Nah, shout out to Drake. But the fact that you were able that Thug was able to get that #1 spot. I mean, we knew it was gonna happen.
That's King Slime. Yes.
So when did you find out? When did you find out you was gonna be on the intro track?
I mean, I found out it was gonna be the intro like a couple days before.
Okay.
But Thug and I had did that song like back in like 2019. We were on a world tour, and we ended up being out in Venice, and we recorded that song back then, and it was just a special song, special moment. And he always said like, "Yo, this is gonna be on my next album," and I was just like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "I can't wait. I really hope it is." And again, and it came out, and it was perfect.
Nah, I love that, and the fact it was in Venice that y'all recorded.
Yeah, recorded in Venice. Like everything he's saying on that song is real. He's like, "Yo, me and Strick out here recording. I can see people riding by on boats right now, like Cedric, like all that is real."
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't deny that is real, but it's of course. Hearing it and then hearing the story is you don't really know.
Nah, Venice is also a place when we landed, man. We took a speedboat to the hotel, like. It was some real James Bond shit. It was crazy.
I want to do that shit. That sounds that sounds amazing.
It was amazing, man. That song has a real big meaning to me.
So you're part of a #1 album now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Thank God.
That's incredible.
Second one.
What was the first one?
Slime Language 2.
Okay, yeah.
Thug is the only artist this year that besides Taylor Swift to have.
I forgot that came out this year too.
2 #1s. Yeah,
that feels like a lifetime ago because I feel like that was around the time that was right
April.
That was April. That was right before the summer, like right before I got vaccinated and felt like I was cool to go outside again and start doing in-person interviews again like this. And I remember that project has so many good records. We used to listen to that on the way to the studio. Before we recorded here,
right?
I had a couple videographers of friends of mine, and we had a studio in the city that would like let us record interviews there. No mics, no nothing like that. But shout out to Invite Only. They really held it down for us. And on the way there, we would listen.
Slime Language 2. Yeah, that was a classic record as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
2 #1s, 1 year.
2 #1s, 1 year.
Your project is on the way.
My project is on the way. Strickland, my debut album.
Strickland, the debut Why are you calling this one your debut? Because you had a bunch of projects out already. But
the other projects were like all like mixtapes.
Okay,
kind of just like, but this is actually my album. Like this is actually like I approached it like an album. We're rolling it out like an album, and I feel like it's my debut.
Right, because it's been about 2 years since the last project. Yeah, I wrote down 2019.
Yeah, 2019, Machine Volume 2, and Machine Volume 2 did really well. I was on the Justin Bieber big tour with Thug, and I released that right before the tour ended, and it actually ended up going like #9 on like Apple.
Oh, congratulations!
So I remember like it was kind of like surreal to me too because Kanye West was like #1 that year. That's when he dropped like Jesus is King, I think. And
that actually, I think that's 2 years ago today that he dropped Jesus is King. So that means hold on, let's check.
That's crazy.
Let's check. Let's see. Cause I definitely have you pulled up. Let's see if it's been officially 2 years.
Volume 2.
Let's see. We're gonna check right now. October 31st. Oh shit, you dropped it on Halloween.
Damn,
there you go.
Okay, lit.
Happy 2-year anniversary.
Thank you, man.
Happy 2-year anniversary.
That project was big for me, man. Like again, it went #9. I had Nav on there. I had Black on there.
Yep.
It was just like super dope. Yeah.
So with this project, right now, I'm gonna let you talk about it because I've heard some things, but I'm not gonna be the guy to spill things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. So what can we talk about with this project? Who can we talk about that's on it? You got a couple singles out now.
Right now I got a couple singles out. I got Bad Girl with Kaash Paige,
which is a great record.
Thank you. Yeah, very different, man. Kaash Paige is an amazing rising star, man. I think she's gonna be around for a long time. Swae Lee, Play Stupid.
Yep.
An amazing record produced by Weezy. I love that song. Obviously Moon Man, we just shot the visual for that a couple months ago, but that's also on my album. It's on Slime Language 2. It's me, Thug, and Kid Cudi. And then the album's got a bunch of people. I mean, my boy Ty Dolla $ign. We got Gunna, Thug, Usual Suspects, and a few surprises I don't want to mention yet.
I know one of the surprises, which we'll talk about after, because they let us slip, but I didn't want to say it unless you said it. So I won't say it because I'm not that guy.
No, it's okay. It's a few surprises. You guys stay tuned. Go get the album when it comes out November 5th.
I promise I would not be that guy. But November 5th, official November 5th.
November 5th.
Okay, cool.
We can't talk about that.
So,
say that.
Well, no, we can't because I'll drop this the week of November 5th. So when you're watching this, the album is out this Friday.
This Friday.
There you go. See, that's how this thing works. You know what I'm saying? We say we're recording this like a few days before Rolling Loud. It's out this Friday. Right. I got you. I'm gonna make sure I put this out right before.
Nah, for sure.
So this is a big moment for you.
Yeah, it really is. It's huge.
I like the momentum going into this too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like the perfect storm of just like boom, Slime Language 2, boom, intro on the Thug project, and then now.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't know. I appreciate a good rollout.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
right,
I think, and I feel like, when we were talking about like taking the risk before and like whatnot, I feel like that also goes into like, what the moment, like once you build up to that moment, you just like, this is the moment, and like you're taking advantage of that too.
Right.
Like you're like, I know this is my moment now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I totally think that this is the opportunity for people to really learn more about Strick, really discover more of who I am as an artist, my versatility, some of the things that I really enjoy, the songs I really like making. And I think it's just going to be a great opener. I think after this album, people are definitely going to say, what's next?
So Strickland.
Yeah.
So with this, is there like an overall theme of it? Like what are you hoping that people take away when they listen to this project?
I want people to just have good vibes. I want people to walk away with this, just having that feeling that they used to have when they used to listen to music, and it's just like, man, I can relate to it. And then another song where it's like, man, this song makes me want to dance. It's just so much variety on there. So I think there's going to be a lot of takeaways from the album for sure.
How long is it? How many songs?
18 songs.
18 songs. Okay, full body of work. Were you experimenting with anything new on this project? Like,
yeah, of course. I mean, even Bad Girl was even experimental. But there's some other experimental tracks I have on there as well. Like I got an Afro Beats record on there.
Nice.
It's super cool.
With a feature, maybe?
With a feature, yeah.
Okay, cool. You can tell me about it. You play it for me after this, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I experiment with a lot of sounds.
Nice. Do you feel like you feel most creatively free with this project too?
Yeah, in a way. In a way, I mean, obviously, I still kind of was disciplined about putting the project together because it is my debut album. But at the same time, I did make sure that I didn't just give the people one sound. So I kind of just tried to make sure I, like you said, experimented a lot and kind of gave them some real quality.
Is it executive produced by anybody too? I know that's like a thing that a lot of people do now.
Right now, it's currently not, but we've got some people that have been behind the scenes kind of helping me put it together. So we'll see maybe towards the next week if we're going to announce who was executive produced.
Nice. Now I just asked because I feel like now like this year I've seen like a lot of like executive produced by like Wale just dropped his album, executive produced by Rick Ross, and there've been a bunch of other projects where I've seen like the executive produced tag on the bottom of it. So that's why I had to ask because I didn't know if somebody was executive producing your joint too.
Of course. Yeah, we might make that announcement really soon.
That's very exciting. Well, I mean, it's coming out this week. You could just announce it.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
It's okay. I'll put this out before. I'll put this out. Hopefully, if it might already be announced right now, so you could go on his Instagram and see it might already be there.
Yeah, you did.
So. You mentioned even working with Kid Cudi on the last project.
Shout out to Kid Cudi, man.
I didn't get to bring that up. What was that like? What was that like for you? Because that's incredible. And that record and the video for it too, fire.
Video is crazy.
The video was fire. I love the set design for that video too.
Thank you so much. Yeah. The video came out crazy. Shout out to my boy Zach. Shout out to 1-800 number. They were the production company that helped get that together. Zachary Bailey shot that for me. Yeah, I mean, working with Kid Cudi was just like an experience that I never really anticipated. I remember, honestly, about a year before this, me and Thug were having a conversation, and he was just kind of saying, like, you're like my Kid Cudi type artist, And I'm like, yeah, that's fire. I'm like, I knew who Kid Cudi was. I knew what Kid Cudi did. I knew he was different. And then, I still, like, even started studying Kid Cudi even more after Thug said that, to kind of put my finger on, like, why would he say that? What was he thinking? And he was just, like, kind of like, you're the guy that, like, years from now, Coachella's still gonna be calling, trying to like give you a couple million just to come pull up. Right. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of nostalgia that's gonna surround your name. And so when he said that, I was just like, damn. So then to fast forward a year later to be working with Kid Cudi was just like amazing to me. And it was just like a testament to like how I pushed myself and the energy that, myself and Thug had put out there. Cudi's a great guy, incredibly genuine. I sent the record over to my boy Dr. Genius. Dot sent it to Cudi. Cudi loved it, cut it literally like the same day, sent it back, and I was like, wow. Yo, this is crazy. And I think that's rare for him in general. I
was about to say, same day shit feels like rare for most people really people rare in the industry. Yeah,
he sent it back, and then he was just really adamant about getting the video out. He supported the record the whole way. Him and I still talk frequently. Like, I mean, he's Cudi's stand-up guy for sure.
Very much going to put out into the universe another joint for the two of y'all.
Oh yeah, thank you for sure. Yeah, we got some stuff. We did a couple more after that already.
Okay, so there are a few other records that have been worked on.
Yeah, definitely.
Very exciting. So after this project, what's next for you? So we got some more visuals on the way. Obviously, we got visuals out now. Yeah. But what's next for you after this project?
Touring. Obviously want to go on tour after the album. Got a bunch of new music that we've been working on. Like I said, when I was in London, I made a bunch of really cool tracks. So top of the year, after we let the album, run its course, I can drop some more music towards the spring.
Some more UK. I know you got you've worked with Skepta.
I work with Skepta. That's my boy.
Yep.
Me and Lancey Foe. That's my
nice.
We always working. Like that's my boy.
I love the scene in the UK right now.
Yeah,
like
UK
the
scene is crazy.
Crazy.
M Huncho, he's going crazy out there too. Me and him did a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I got a lot of love for UK and just Europe in general.
Dope. Well, look, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing your story with me because, like I said, like I told you before the interview, I thought it was so interesting, and it obviously didn't disappoint because there were so many more layers to it that I didn't even know.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'm very excited for the album to come out this Friday.
This Friday, November 5th. Go get it. Strickland. YSL 300 presents.
There you go. Well, let the people know where they can follow you at. Anything else that they got to know? I mean, the album's out this Friday. They know that. This camera right here.
Yeah, what's up? It's your boy Strick. Follow all my socials. Definitely make sure you follow me on Instagram at Strick, just STRICK, and on Twitter at Strick, STRICK86. Slat.
There you go, man. Strick on the radar, baby. My guy. Appreciate you.
My boy, thank
Boom.
you. Slatty.